We ain't finished. I told you we won't stop. And by the business. Like yours, but you rent it. Wait a load to the top. The babe on die. Tell the paparazzi get the name right. They got the windows down top on live. They got the hazard on only going style. She been down since the jellies and the go-go. Got me stepping out the deep in my nose. Want me pull up to the sea. Hey. What's up, y'all? This is Myron Pierce, Big Fish Show. Hey, it's so good to be here with y'all. You are in for a treat. But before I get into what we're going to talk about today, you might be wondering what in the world is the Big Fish Show all about. Hey, listen to this. I firmly believe this. I firmly believe this with all my heart. I believe that there is more to you than you have ever seen. I believe that there is more to do than you have ever done. I believe that when it comes to your life, I believe that when it comes to your business, I believe that when it comes to your present, I believe that when it comes to your future. So here at 95.7 The Boss, of whom I'm being hosted by, shout out to William King and the whole 95.7 The Boss family. And those of you who are streaming online right now, joining me, do me a favor right now. It's about to go down. Do me a favor right now. Hit the @ followers, hit the @ highlight. If you're listening by radio or by app, call your homeboy, your homegirl, your mama now, and tell them Myron the Pierce is on the show today, and you may want to listen in on what he has to say. Hey, here's what I know. You attract the life that you want. Think about that. Not by chasing every opportunity or knocking down every wall, but aligning yourself with your higher self and letting what's meant for you, listen to this, come find you. Myron, why does that matter today? Today, I want to have a conversation with you about muscles. Let me rephrase that. Magnets over muscles. Magnets over muscles. I was having a conversation with my woman and expressing some frustration about some things, right? And she said, Myron, you just need to stop fighting and start attracting. She said, you need to stop fighting and start attracting. And I'll be honest, it kind of took me back a little bit. I was kind of taken aback because the traditional language around your success, my improvement, my well-being, how far I get in life. The biggest way that we are typically taught or what we've caught in our homes or by our friends or colleagues or homies or whoever, however you want to frame it, is that it's about the muscles. You have to just storm ahead. You have to take life by the horns. You gotta get it out the mud. And again, listen, what I'm not talking about is hard work. I'm not talking about hard work. Everybody needs to put in hard work, right? But what I'm suggesting from the conversation that I had with my woman is that it's quite possible to try to fight for your success versus open handedly receiving your success, receiving what belongs to you, right? Receiving what you could become. You know, it wasn't too long ago. Actually, it was too long ago when I was in prison. I'm going to tell you a prison story. Now, if you have any questions about prison, now is the time. You can call in if you want. Maybe if I give you a phone number, but you can most certainly in the chat ask any prison question you want within PG ratedness. So anyway, I'm in a penitentiary, and I quite frankly, here I am, this young kid. I have a 16 to 33 year sentence in prison, and I had this amazing spiritual encounter with God, and it's part of the reason why I'm here on the radio show, and I'm getting back here, is because this epiphany, this aha moment with God was, hey, I'm in a bad situation where I'm destroying my life, but if you change me, I'll serve you for the rest of my life. And that was the that was what I negotiated. Wasn't God get me out? It wasn't I don't deserve to be here. It wasn't I just got a bad break in life and didn't have the right proper tools to become. It wasn't even that at all. I think I had just really gotten to the place in my life where I recognized that I was at rock bottom. And typically, like when we're at rock bottom, we're trying to climb our way out by our own means, which inevitably becomes an awful approach to true success when we try to muscle our way to the top. And let me give you the example I'm sharing is when I was in prison. Like I told you, I had this kind of faith encounter. And through that faith encounter, I just had this impression through my faith encounter that somehow a miracle was going to happen to me. And I'll be the first one to say I'm a testimony to miracles. I mean, just miracle after miracle after miracle in my life. If you don't know me for anything else, I'd rather not even be known for what I've done, but I'd rather be known for how much of a miracle my life has been, not by my own doing. Um, but what I tried to do when I had all that time, and I had this faith encounter where it's like, hey, this impression that I was going to get out of prison, that regardless of if I had 16 to 33 years, as a teenager, somehow it was going to work out for me. I just knew that on the inside of me. I just knew it. So here's my question. Have you ever known something in your knower? I don't even know that that's a word, but I'm going to use it because this is the Big Fish show and we can make up words, right? Um, I knew in my knower that I was somehow going to get out of prison. So essentially, what I was saying is some type of miracle is going to happen, some type of magnetic approach to the blessing of God is going to happen in my life. The blessing going to hunt me down. I don't even know. I don't know how it's going to work out. However, what I tried to do was take that into my own hands and try to actually apply for a pardon. A year after I was sentenced, I was just like barely 19, 20. Hey, thanks for joining us. I was barely 19, 20. And I said, well, I'm just going to help God. And so I gathered my little petition and wrote the petition, and just nothing happened. It was my muscle. It It was me following how I perceived my next step of success was going to be in life from prison. But what I'm learning is that sometimes it's not our effort, it's not the strings we pull, the people we know, the connections we have. Think about this. You attract the life you want not by chasing every opportunity. You attract the life you want, Myron, not by filling out a pardon and hoping that you were going to be pardoned by the governor. You attract the life you want not by chasing down every relationship. You attract the life you want not by giving in to every opportunity or knocking down every wall. Watch this. But by aligning with your higher self and letting what's meant for you come find you. Let that sink in. Letting what's meant for you come find you. And in that prison, with a 16 to 33-year sentence, it was very hard to let what was meant for me find me because I'm a man. I make it happen, right? I'm a man of action. Have you ever said those words? Have you ever gone by, well, I'm an alpha male? Have you ever been have you ever went by, well, I'm an alpha male or I'm an alpha female? Okay, cool. Welcome to the pack, baby. My question is this. How's that working out for you? What if there was a different way? I'm not proposing a better way, but what if there was a different way where you and I didn't have to vie for the attention of people who you think have the money to bless your business, but there's strings attached? Some of those opportunities with strings are actually the puppet master. When we go after opportunity that's not meant for us, there are always strings attached. And whatever that opportunity is that has strings, and whoever is controlling those strings, ultimately will never have your best interests at heart if there are strings attached. Any opportunity with strings attached that does not lead to your higher self growing into that, and it's not for you. It's definitely not for you. I want you to pause for a minute and think about what I just said. We're gonna go to about 1 or 2 minutes, listening to a little bit more music. We're gonna come back and we're gonna continue this conversation about how you and I get out of functioning from this place of muscling our way to success and being the magnets where whatever is meant to find me will find me. Check this out. Hey, 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 hey. We'll be right back, y'all. Big Fish Show, 95.7 The Balls. Omnipresent, the sun here, reflection that's like beam, can't block that with sunscreen. I bounce like my light green, if they smoking on that light green, couple lean, I don't want that. This world, I don't know that. And I put a billion on it if I had Big Fish Show, Myron Pierce, y'all. 95.7 The Boss. Talking about magnets over muscles. It matters.
Use that money as a tool. I make it, it don't make me. You see, I use it for his good. Don't chase it, it chase me. I don't borrow, I'm the loner. I'm trying to be the owner. And show him you can make it when I'm slanging on the corner. The kingdom that's built in. I'm sticking to the ceiling. Just so I can take it. And so it's with children. Yeah, I put a million on it if I had it. I try to take a million of it and I let you have it. I see these earthly treasures, homie, I ain't even stacking. I get it, I give it. I swear I'm never lacking. I'm just so in love. I give it, it's real. I live it, I get it. I give it, it's real. I live it, I get it. I give it, it's real. I live it, I get it. I give it, it's real. I live it. Yeah, the wealth of the wicked is stored up for the righteous, youngin'. For all you wicked rappers, I think you owe me something. I think you owe me something. Yeah, you owe me something.
Yo, yo, yo. I'm back like I never left. Hey, we're talking about instead of having this idea of getting it out the mud or pulling yourself up by your own bootstraps or forcing your way into success, or like in my case, as I shared that little story about how I tried to essentially help God do what he said he was going to do in my life. How I was actually chasing after an opportunity that I had a vision about my freedom, and yet I thought I knew. And I'm not against strategic planning, I'm not against having a plan, but we know the difference. We know the difference between trying to make it happen and then receiving what needs to happen. Let me give you a couple insights. Let me give you a couple insights that are helpful in this conversation of not chasing every opportunity, but aligning ourselves with our higher self so that we can accept and receive what was meant for us, right? Here's what I recognize. We have to, here's check this out. Force creates fiction, friction. Alignment creates flow. Force creates friction. Have you ever, listen, have you ever tried to force your significant other to do something that you don't, that they didn't want to do? Like, hey, let's go out on the town and have a fun time. Or, hey, let's go watch this movie. And you try to force your way. Have you have you ever lost? Let me put it to you like this. You might get it this way. Has a relationship ever ended and you try to force your way back into the relationship? Let me bring it home. Have you ever lost a customer that you try to force to buy your product? Man, I'm on this social media game in terms of marketing, and I've been around business 15, 20 years, and I've turned 42 May 15. Happy birthday to me. All day is my birthday, all month. Y'all, shout out to me. Cash App, it's me, Myron. Um, but the reality is that anytime you and I try to like force our way into opportunity, there's gonna be friction because all of life doesn't work that way. Okay, there's something in science called the flow state. I don't know if you're familiar with it. The flow state simply is this. If you're an athlete, you know what I'm talking about. Let's use basketball. Let's use arcade basketball. That's how we're gonna do it today. We're gonna use arcade basketball. Here, if you were born in the '80s, or if you weren't, but you've shopped at any gaming location, there's this game called NBA Jam, and some of the other games follow after this same model, and you will see it. When you have the ball in NBA Jam and you make it like a dozen times, you start hearing, he's on fire, he's on fire, right? In other words, the player who consecutively made the shot ended up in a flow state. In other words, in NBA Jam, it's more likely to, the player is more likely to score because he's in a flow state. The flow state is where you feel like you can't miss. The flow state is when you're in a significant relationship, and everything, not that it's peaches and cream, but everything seems like it's lining up. That's the flow state. The flow state is where, not that you and I didn't participate in hard work, but that the hard work that you and I put in by discipline is paying off in dividends, in destiny, because you're meeting people who weren't in your business plan. You're meeting people who weren't on your vision board. Some of the best people that I like to hang around are those who can get in the flow state. You might say, Myron, how in the world can I get in the flow state? Sometimes it takes asking the question, not what do I need to do next in life, not even what do I need to do in my business. That's cool. That's entry level. But next level, entering into higher self, receiving what was meant for you, happens when we ask the question, who do I need to be connected to? Who do I, Myron Pierce, need to be connected to? Those of you who are joining me, who do you need to be connected to? That's flow state talk right there. That's some insight from not just chasing every opportunity, hoping you're going to attract success, but aligning yourself with who you really are and letting what's meant for you come to you. Listen, this sounds easy. It sounds easy. And what's hard about it isn't the actual process of what I'm talking about of you know, not getting it out the mud, not muscles, but really being a magnet, allowing things to come to you. It's through alignment. That's the insight here, right? But here's a second insight. The most powerful people don't chase, they position. Ooh wee. I ain't gonna get no shares on that one. I ooh wee. Listen, the most powerful people. I need to hear this myself. I thought I showed up because I had something to say today. I showed up because I had something to listen to today. I don't know if you've ever done that before. You thought you showed up to serve somebody, to help somebody, to bless somebody, and you actually were the one who was blessed. I think that's me today. You attract the life you want not by chasing every opportunity or knocking down every wall, but by aligning yourself with your higher self and receiving everything that was meant for you and letting it happen. But the insight to that statement I just made is this: the most powerful people don't chase, they position. They position. I just had, okay, full transparency. So my woman is the one who told me this. She said, stop. So I got to give her a shout out. The real Moss Lady. Go to mossladync.com. Get one of them Big Daddy jars. They're going to help your immune system. Thank me later. She told me this. She said, Myron, you just need to stop fighting and you need to start attracting. And the insight out of that I want to share with you, with the audience, with you today, is are you chasing or positioning? Are you chasing opportunity or are you positioning yourself as an opportunist? Man, it's so different. It's so different. And I'll be honest, a lot of times we have turned, we'd say, oh, it's kind of like, not like I'm eliminating my last statement, but is a higher level to it. Um, when you try to chase after opportunities, they almost always end up not being the ones you need to get to the next level, right? They almost always end up being that. But think about truly powerful people who don't chase but position. What are some of their attributes? The most powerful people don't chase, they position. So my question, as you're listening, join me in this conversation. Feel free to hit me in the chat, right? Either chat bar. You say, "Hey, Myron, I'm feeling you. I'm feeling what you got to say. Thanks for sharing that." My question is: are you a chaser or a positioner? I know I'm just making up another word on the Big Fish show today, but it matters. The most powerful people in the world, they don't chase. You know why? Because at the end of the day, they know what they have to offer. There's a story of this insanely successful king. I mean, he had become, you know, widely known, widely, insanely revered as a powerful king in his day. It's interesting because this king prayed, and it was in his prayer that it came to him. And here was the question that came to him. What do you want? And this great king had to pause for a moment. And he said, I want wisdom. I want it. In other words, if I'm going to operate as a king, my greatest asset is wisdom. You see what he did there? This great king positioned even his prayer life deeper. He went deep with it. He said, hey, listen, I want wisdom, because if I don't have wisdom to rule, then I'm done. And you may be saying that in your business, in your life. That's why some of the most powerful people don't chase after the things, because this wise king chose not to chase after. And again, listen, If God asks me, what do you want? Man, I'm gonna say, man, drop off a couple million, man. Make me a billionaire. So God know you need to deal with me the long way. But this king here, he's like, forget the money. If I don't position myself as wise, then I'm done for. And so my question to you is this: where would you be if you quit chasing after opportunities that aren't for you and position yourself and get ready for the ones that are coming near you? I'm going to leave you with that thought. I'm going to leave you with that thought and see if I can pull up a little track you might have heard before. Let me see if I can find it. Probably not. Hold on here. This is really gonna bless you. This is really gonna bless you. Well, we'll see here. This ain't what I want, but we can start here. I'll get to the next song. But hey, listen, I'm gonna leave you with that for a few minutes. What have you done and what are you doing? Are you chasing or are you positioning yourself? Because I think that really does matter. Let's take a look into my mind. What you find might not be kind. The darkness that's inside will soon turn to light. Turn the lights. Turn the darkness, darkness, go ahead and spark this. Drink this, read this, do this, no one's gonna care. Eat this, breathe this, live this, you know life ain't fair. You wanna run cause you scared. Mama taught me to what you find might not be kind. The darkness that's inside will soon turn to light. Turn the lights. Turn the lights. Standing on the edge, Charlie was the end. Life ain't no pretend. Don't play fame when we wanna quit. Don't quit me, say this, don't give up. This life had the beginning. I promise since I know my shit, I've been through it. Why quit? We got one life. Get bread, speed off. Man, carry your cross. Say any cause, be a boss, be today, live today, find your way. Roll a light, be ever so bright. Just fight with all your might, with no hand in sight. Let's take a look into my mind. What you find Big Fish Show. Myron Pierce, 95.7 The Boss. Hey, we have been having a conversation today that revolves around magnets over muscles. Myron, what does that mean? It simply means this: you and I can spend our time Thank you, radio audience, for joining us. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but you and I can spend our time in life trying to muscle our way to the top, trying to quote unquote make things happen in this life, to get to the top, to be successful. And I'm not saying that there's fully something wrong with that, but what I am saying is this, that if you and I chase opportunity instead of aligning ourselves with our higher selves and letting what's meant for us come to us, then my friends, we will always be trying to climb our way to the top. And although the radio audience is just now joining us, I've been sharing some insights on how to move from aligning yourself with your higher self and letting what's meant for you come to find you. We've been talking about some insights around that tonight, this afternoon. And I talked about how force creates friction and how we also need alignment, right? We need alignment that creates flow for us. And that the most powerful people on the planet are those who aren't chasing, they're positioning. But here's the final insight that I think is worth your consideration. Right? It's worth your consideration. When you and I stop resisting, we start receiving. When we stop resisting, we start receiving. Okay? What do I mean by that? Well, we can spend our whole life resisting failure, resisting what people say about us. Oh my goodness. That, my friend, is probably my nemesis. Being completely transparent, right? Being completely transparent. But hey, listen, here's what I recognize. Because when my woman was like, when she said, you need to stop fighting and start attracting, I was like, how you do that? How you do that? I was like, how you do that? And you talking to a guy who done led a lot of things, and I've led large organizations, small organizations, and I silently thought, how in the world do you do that? Like, what do you mean stop acting? Stop fighting and start attracting. Here's a power quote for you. Energy is currency. And if your vibes, think about that. If your vibes if your vibes are in overdraft, don't expect abundance to deposit. Don't expect abundance to deposit. Let me say this. Energy is currency. And if your vibe's in overdraft, don't expect abundance to deposit. There's no way. There's no way for that to happen. And I believe today's discussion isn't just for me, because there are like many of y'all out there, you've been in business since Moses. You've been in business since Moses. And you're like, why aren't things happening the way that they're supposed to happen? Why? I'm glad you asked. Here's what I think can be helpful to you and I aligning with our higher selves and becoming and receiving all the opportunities that await us. We have a special visitor today. It's all about alignment. I just got to telling y'all it's all about alignment. Listen, you and I have to get clear on who we're becoming. We gotta get crystal clear. I mean, I can't wait. I can't wait to bring my friend on, my family on, because she right on time for this conversation. But we got to get clear on who we're becoming. We have to audit our environments. And we have to practice our confidence. Because, like, if that becomes the way that we live, then we'll stop operating from trying to force things to happen versus attract things to happen like magnets so that we can step into our higher selves. And so I just thought this conversation deserved somebody who know exactly what we're talking about, um, because she done been through it. And I think you should hear from her. And so, because she is like taking Omaha by storm right now, and at some point, you're gonna have to book her by talking to her assistant. So, come
Crazy. I just had
on,
that conversation.
come on, you what?
Yeah, I just
About
told
what?
Christian. I said, Christian, I said, I'm going to have to start sending you ahead of me. She said, why? I said, because you always on time. And I said, I show up late, so I need you to be my representative because that's what's about to happen real soon.
I'm telling you, listen. So this is my good friend Ian McClinton. She is super dope, and just an amazing entrepreneur and an amazing person. And she means well, and she loves our community, and she ain't about nothing but own that, for real, for real.
On that pond.
She want to own that pond. So hey, listen, who are you? And then I got a couple of questions for you based on this conversation that we having today. And I bet you're trying to go live, huh?
And I can't, huh?
I got you.
Okay.
Tell us who you are.
I am Ian McClinton, and I have been born and raised in Omaha, Nebraska most of my life. I've been a couple places around the United States, but this has been where I've been for most of my life, and this is where I want to build something. This is where I want my kids to build something, and this is where I want to help other people build something. So
I like that. So here's what we've been doing. Um, we've been talking about like how, and you can relate to this, like how easy it is for like, because we go back, right? So how easy it is for us to try to make stuff happen. Like, like um, the difference between seasons. Um, what's for you is for you. When it's for you, you know what I mean. And I know you have like a history of like things that you wanted to do in life, right? Like within the last 5 years,
most
in
definitely,
the conversations we've had.
a longer history than yours since I'm a little bit older. So yeah, my history of I've always wanted to do something. So I've done so many things that it's like I'm one of those people, what they say, jack of all trades, because I've done so many things and I continue to do things. And some people feel like they got to put themselves in a box and just be stuck in this one box. And I've learned that sometimes that ain't your job. Sometimes it's your job to try a little bit of everything. Sometimes it's your job to bless different people in different areas. And that's where I've been grateful and had the privilege to do many different things across the map. Some things people agree with, some might not, but it is who it is. It still made me. So um, I'm here to say that there is the only time limit is your time. You put yourself on the time limit. Not God, not nobody else around you. You. When you meet yourself where you at and decide this is where I'm at and then decide where you're going, that's when it's your time. Until then, you're gonna be trying what the comedians say, trying and trying and trying
Right,
shit.
right.
And trying and trying and
Right.
trying. You're gonna continue to do that over and over again until you meet yourself where you at and finally just stand in front of yourself and say, okay, what am I here to do? And sometimes you might be here to do everything. You might be here to do
nothing. Some people enjoy doing nothing, but whatever it is, enjoy it, cause this is heaven, honey.
Let me make a statement and unpack it for me from your perspective. You attract the life you want not by chasing down every opportunity or knocking down every wall, but by tapping into your higher self and letting what is for you and meant for you come to you. How true has that been in your life? And like, give us an example.
So when I spent my life chasing shit, the only thing I chased was prison.
Mm.
I chased bad relationships. I chased different things, negative things that I didn't need in my life because I was chasing, because I was in survival mode. All I knew was to survive, and I had to do
Wow.
whatever I needed to do to survive. And to the point where it took me away from the people that I love trying to survive. So now I just sit back. Now I sit back, and now it's so comfortable sitting back. I get to take naps now. It's an awesome thing because now I let it come to me. Now people are looking for me.
Don't let me okay, let me ask you this. Did that used to be like a contradiction? Cause like we so used to like, I gotta get out there, I gotta
Oh my
grind, I
God.
gotta
I
so like
still like that. But
man,
I have to make myself sit down like a little kid because I'm one of those people who feel like I got ADHD. I got to be
man,
everywhere doing everything. So if I'm at home, I can't watch TV and stuff. I gotta take a nap because
right,
if I'm not asleep and my mind ain't resting, then if I'm not physically doing something, then I'm mentally doing something. And
right.
I'm mentally trying to figure something out. So I have to shut it down. So that's the chase. And I
Wow.
have to teach myself to calm down. Stop thinking,
What do
stop
you do? Like
chasing.
what do you do personally to go from chasing to receiving where it's like I'm a boss, like it's coming. Whatever's for me is for me and it's coming. Like what do you do to help you with that?
So today I seen this thing, and this might help to live your day. Pick one day to to live your day and be who you want to be.
Hmm.
Live it how you want to be. Be the best you that day. And it just so happened I picked today to be that day.
Okay.
And look where I'm at, talking to y'all.
Wow.
So I'm saying if you open it, I didn't.
No.
We seen each other for less than 5 minutes.
Yes, that's correct.
I was there supporting and stuff. We seen each other less than 5 minutes. He said, "Meet me at the radio station." I didn't push. I didn't chase. I didn't ask. It came to me. So I chose today to be my best day.
Wow.
And now I'm talking to you beautiful people, and I'm living my dream just that quick. So that shows to you how fast it manifests. Yesterday, I was in my bed, I didn't go out, I didn't do
Wow.
anything and everything. Today, look where I'm at because today I chose to live my best life, and that's what I'm
Wow.
doing.
So I'm not